Astro's C40 controller. Okay, so now I want to jump into that, but I just want to ask. I want to take a moment to interrupt me for a second to share a hot take. I do believe it's a hot take. At this stage in the game, based on looking at these two controllers, the Astro C40 spiritual successor is the Pro BFG. This is the Astro C40, okay? This is the Pro BFG. Again, Astro C40, Pro BFG, right? So look at over here. These come out individually, right? Individually. This whole piece comes out. This whole piece comes out. C40, Pro BFG. The question before I jump into the C40, okay? When you think about a Pro controller, your perfect Pro controller, what features do you have? Must have. This is your perfect, you're building a bear, okay? This is your perfect controller. It has everything you want. What is that? What does that look like?
Well, you kind of said it earlier. I need to have the right stick be able to be raised.
Absolutely.
That's one of the big ones for me. Just the modularity with the sticks is the biggest thing for me. Trigger stops, number 2. I need that hair trigger functionality. And 3, which 3 can probably be at the top, but the lowest input latency, period. Because you need these controllers to be spot on. If you're playing Warzone, Destiny 2, or if you're playing Division or anything like that, you need the instantaneous, especially Rainbow Six. So that's the 3 I'm looking for. Like if it has wireless, cool, but it doesn't. That's not necessary. Rumble's not necessary.
So we're stripping pretty much every major controller that's on the market right now, right? So I agree. Input is definitely a big thing. Weight, it doesn't have to be too heavy. So I think the average weight for the controllers that we love today ranges anywhere from 215 grams to 245, right? Give or take, right? Anything over 300, we're like, it's a little bit crazy. Even so leading into that, I think the Astro is about 300 and something, right? But it's not heavier than the Series 2. So what's your take on that? I mean, it's been a while, it is plagued with its own issues, if we're fair. But in terms of a controller, what's your take on the Astro? I still love it. What's your take on that?
It was one of the most comfortable Pro controllers I've used. I like the size of it, and the weight wasn't bad. I think the biggest thing that really confused me about it was the fact that they haven't made a successor, because they had the blueprint right there. You know what the issues are. You can do some R&D and get that worked out and get out a successor. Because I mean, honestly, at the time when that came out, they had no competition on the PlayStation end, especially for the PlayStation 4, for that type of controller, because you only could get the DualShock 4. That was it. There was no real third-party Pro competition, and it's a shame that they didn't jump on that. But I love the controller. It was my go-to for the longest, until like Fusion Pro 2.
Right.
Well, Fusion Pro was good, but the Fusion Pro 2 is just that's just anyways. But yeah, it was my go-to. I liked being able to use it wirelessly and wired, although I rarely ever used it wirelessly. And I mean, it had really good latency or wireless capability.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why they haven't followed it up. I think they should have, personally.
I think they should have also. It did have the speaker built in. I actually have it like right here. It is still to me a not necessarily a missed opportunity, because even if they were to say, hey, you know what? Because it's still good, even though there's refurbished versions that you can pick up. There are other companies, like I think it was like a Beaver something. They made replacement analog sticks for it. You could buy, the ones from Astro, which was about like $20 or whatever. So I think even with what we have with this controller, it still competes against the ones that we have like today, right?
Yeah.
And that says a lot. That says a lot for a controller. When it came out, it was over $200, right? Or it was at least 200 when it came out.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, no, go ahead. You got it.
No, I was gonna say, did I? No, it was about 200. I paid about because I bought mine. Yeah, it was about $200.
Yeah, and it is
priced in.
They did, and they're getting ready to pay They're getting ready to pay $200 for the DualSense Edge. They're getting ready to pay $250 for Razer's, PlayStation controller. So I don't know. We're complaining about price, right? But you mentioned the Fusion Pro, which is $89.99, which is really good when you think of a controller that's offering you that much value and it's being compared to the Series 2. I think that's pretty incredible in a lot of ways. So any additional thoughts on the C40 before we move on?
Astro, y'all need to make another iteration of it. Okay, I mean, we can get as many updates to the headset.
Right.
That's fine. You guys keep making updates to this. Cool. Make an update to the controller.
Right.
You have the blueprint.
They do. To be fair, I'm biased with Astro, but I want to be honest though, right? I'm biased, but I want to be honest. They do hook us up, right? We get a lot of love from them, but at the same time, I do agree that if they were to come out with a new version for the C40, they will still be tremendously competitive. But what they did do is they focused on the headset because they came out with the recent 30s, right? Which is doing extremely well. So I'm not mad at them per se because I still have access to the Astro C40. And in the event that the controllers, the thumbsticks fall apart, I can just swap them out. And that is $20 a year. Let's say they last a year. That's $20 every year versus me rebuying a whole new thing, right? So I think that's fair that some controllers companies do that. So there's still a lot of value there for me for the C40. So those are my final thoughts on that. Thanks for watching. Click one of the videos right here and don't forget to subscribe.